Hi there. We've gotten some questions from our friends from Clearvision about Linchpin. This is a preparation video for Atlassian Summit, and this video will go with a blog post from Clearvision. And they sent me a list of questions that they thought and we think are interesting for customers who are thinking about a Confluence-based intranet. Let me read out these questions real quick and then give you a quick answer. And if you're interested, read the blog post. We're going to put a link to the blog post below. So first question is, in general, why are large enterprises attracted to Confluence? Why Confluence? Actually, Confluence was built by Atlassian as a team collaboration software. Most teams grow into ineffectiveness when they are too big. So Confluence by itself is not meant to be used by a large organization. At the same time, this software is so powerful, so easy to use, and so widespread that a lot of Fortune 500 companies, I think it's more than 80%, are using that. And a lot of these companies are using that in their whole company. It's kind of a lot of other software vendors that have just stumbled into new use cases. And that's how Atlassian stumbled from software development. What was the documentation part, the persistent content should be stored in a wiki if you're developing software. And that's where Atlassian built that. And now we see more and more large companies with thousands of users using Confluence. And why is that? Because it's easy, because it's very powerful, it's very customizable and extensible, it's deployable behind the firewall, and it's become to be kind of the standard for text-based collaboration, and definitely the leading solution for enterprise wikis. So that would be my answer for the first question. Second question is, can you give examples of where large companies struggle with more traditional internet solutions and how Confluence can help? How does Confluence differ from these legacy systems? And so the most commonly met solution that we see is Microsoft SharePoint. And I am kind of convinced that, especially SharePoint behind the firewall, so Microsoft has turned into a more cloud-based company within the last years and developed a lot of stuff that is only available in the Microsoft Cloud, like Office 365, SharePoint Online, Yammer. All of this cannot be deployed behind the firewall. There is a SharePoint server, however, that you can deploy behind the firewall. If you compare this one to Confluence server, it's something where, at least in my humble opinion, in almost all cases, Confluence wins against SharePoint. I know of another blog post from Clearvision that compares these two. There's, if you search for comparison SharePoint, Confluence, Linchpin, you'll find a detailed comparison page of ours on Google. And like a lot of legacy systems, they do not have collaboration. They do not have usability built in. They are not especially what I would call a powerful web-based software. Extending or customizing SharePoint, for example, is possible, but it is very, very expensive. And although most big companies and big enterprises do have budgets to do that, they still struggle because those highly customized systems are very difficult to update and to maintain. So yeah, that's some of the struggles that we have. Basically, you could sum this all up. Intranets in bigger companies are stale. So they don't change a lot. They're mostly only top-down communication. And yeah. So the third question is, what additional challenges arise using Confluence at enterprise scale, like with thousands or 10,000s of users? That's a quite difficult question because that differs from company to company. All companies that have more than 1,000 users on Confluence will have trouble with adoption. So all of the challenges that those companies face are around how can I make sure that not only a couple of hundred users use Confluence and Linchpin extensively, but how can I make sure that everyone in my company logs into our intranet regularly, contributes to the company intranet, reads all the news, and interacts with the system on a daily basis, better even if they do it like on an hourly or at least multiple times per day basis. And the way how you can breed this adoption is different from company by company, and that's where companies like Clearvision play a significant role, because they have experience with other companies which you don't have because you only know your own company in most cases. They can help extend your project and the amount of people who have competencies who can help with user adoption. So a lot of these adoption things can be helped with by professional service providers. First question is, what are some of the key features in Linchpin which help out on the enterprise scale challenges? How does Linchpin augment Confluence? There's also a table that you can search on Confluence. If you search for comparison Linchpin Confluence, you'll find a dedicated table that explains why you want to have Linchpin on top of your Confluence if you're running Confluence already and know that. Just to name a few of the highlights and key features that we have is, first of all, Linchpin adds personalization. If you want to have adoption in your intranet system with a lot of users, a lot of your employees will feel that the content that is published on the intranet is not specifically designed for their needs. And personalization can help solve this, because we can tailor the information to your department, to your site, to the language you speak. Es könnte Deutsch sein, or in Japanese, or Turkish, or Francais. And if you're in a very big company, you'll see people scattered across multiple sites. So we could have regional content that could be based on, or you could have content based on subsidiaries or locations. The duration of your company, how long you are in this company already. There could be onboarding information for new hires. There could also be information for more senior people. And all this can be added through Linchpin. We have navigations, which are also personalized. We have top-down communication, which Confluence can do quite good. So if you're in a corporate communications department, or in a lot of cases in big companies, corporate communication kind of runs the intranet, pays for the budget. So everything that these departments want, we offer at Linchpin, and Confluence itself does only very little on this top-down communication things. We had a microblog, we had custom profiles that are like beef-up profile pages, like you know them from LinkedIn or other social pages. And there's a long list, as I said: Google, comparison, Confluence, Linchpin, and you'll get the whole list. Expert searches, phone books, lunch menu plans, and so on. Fifth question. Implementing Linchpin is more than just software. Can you explain some of the discovery questions and processes that we work through with new clients? How do we scope the project? So basically, Linchpin is a technology that you as a customer can sell from Clearvision and deploy yourself. In almost all cases that we see, customers love the fact that Linchpin is bundled with a fixed price professional service offering, meaning that whatever Clearvision will do with you, you'll only pay this one fixed price. no matter how often they come on site, how many workshops they have to do, how many they have to travel, how expensive the airfares are, how often we are involved to work with them. So no matter what, you'll have a fixed budget. That's a very interesting offering for a lot of companies, especially compared to those legacy systems, SharePoint and so on, where you often see 6 or 7 digit projects where we can do the whole project for a budget between 50 and 200K US dollars. So you don't have to buy professional services, but for if you have the goal to deploy a successful intranet, it does help to have professionals, experienced people like Clearvision consultants on site helping you with everything where you are not as experienced. So there's so much more to answer to this question. Like we do have timelines that we can give you. We have extensive lists of to-dos that you will do, that we can do. We have a more than 100-page long documentation on all the workshops that we're going to run with you, like for the personalization, for the navigation, for how top-down communication will work, how you're going to do editing and publishing for your top-down communication, how you're going to deploy microblogs to do project communication, how you're going to breed collaboration within your company. There's a lot of things to work on. It's not possible to put that all in here. But you can contact Clearvision and get all these details if you want. 6th question is, actually there are 7, so you have 2 more to bear with me. Technically speaking, what are the prerequisites for implementing Linchpin? Are there any special dedicated skills and support needed? So what about Linchpin technical support? So from a technical standpoint, Linchpin is nothing but a couple of plugins, let's say 15 enhancements of Confluence, and a fixed price package for professional services. So if you know Confluence inside out and you don't want any professional services, buy those 15 plugins from Clearvision and off you go. There is nothing that you need from a technical standpoint. You will have to read our documentation, you'll have to see our videos, you'll have to learn how our plugins work, but it's all documented. Everything is on the web, so you can do it yourself. In those bigger companies, most of the intranet teams want to have hands-on support, professionals with them that help them avoid mistakes that everyone does. And so if you want to be a Linchpin consultant, there are some prerequisites. It's not easy, it's not non-complex to deploy an intranet for 50,000 employees. So please don't take that lightly. We have seen companies do that internally, but most of the companies enjoy the possibility to have a comparably low price at a fixed rate to deploy such projects. So 7, to sum up, what kind of business at what size should be looking at Linchpin? Can Linchpin benefit our intranet? If you want to find out, the best thing you can do is go to Summit, talk to the Linchpin people, contact Linchpin professionals from Clearvision at the Clearvision booth at Summit, or on their website. It's Clearvision-CM.com, and find out with them together. My answer as a vendor of this technology is if you have more than 100 employees, Linchpin is something that you should look at. If you have more than 1,000 employees, I don't see a lot of companies working with Confluence in the whole company without using that in the long run. That may be a very bold answer to give, but the bigger your company gets, the more important top-down communication becomes. And the more important top-down communication becomes, the more important things like personalization, things like news, things like with a Linchpin touch enhancement with displays in your cantina, in your entry halls, in meeting rooms where you can display news. We have Linchpin Mobile, where we deploy those news on smartphones, and you can then have push messages to these mobile apps. So the bigger your company becomes, the more important it is to get this top-down communication and this personalization that Linchpin brings, and only Linchpin can bring you that. So I think it's not a matter of which branch, which technology, which industry you're in. It's more a matter of how big is your company. And if you have more than 100 employees, you may want to look at it. If you have more than 1,000 employees, you should definitely take a look at Linchpin. If you have any questions, go to the Clearvision experts and talk to them. Thanks. Bye.